soccer gonna ride. Together we will fight.
UFC may be going to Azerbaijan. Seems a bit random, but Fiziev is from there, so he would probably headline a fight night there.
We're going to the Republic of Azerbaijan. Yes, according to sources, the UFC is close to finalizing an event, a debut event in the Republic of Azerbaijan in June later this year. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, wow, Azerbaijan, that is pretty random. Well, I do want to remind you that there are over 10 million people who reside in the Republic of Azerbaijan. It is technically located in Asia, but it is bordered by 4 countries: Russia, Georgia, Armenia, and Iran. So there's a very famous fighter who hails from Azerbaijan. Great call on your part. He would seem to be a shoo-in for this event. No official confirmation as to whether or not he is in fact going to be on the event. You know, he told us last week, it was, right, that he was considering a move to 145.
Ariel Helwani notes that UFC is close to bringing back former flyweight title challenger Kyoji Horiguchi. Possible opponents being discussed: number 11 ranked Tagir Ulanbekov. UFC needs new flyweight contenders. The division is lacking fresh faces to fight for the belt. Horiguchi could be a possibility. If he comes back, there'll be 4 Japanese flyweights on the UFC roster: Horiguchi, Taira, Asakura, and Rei Saruya.
Anthony Joshua indicating he'd be down to fight Jake Paul. Joshua is coming off a KO loss to Daniel Dubois in September.
I want to fight Anthony Joshua exclusive because I know that I will fucking beat Anthony Joshua's ass. I know I just got knocked out, right? Yeah. He doesn't have a chin and he has no skill and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends, all this shit. But I want to fight you. I will beat Canelo. I will beat a lot of fucking people. I will not beat David Benavidez.
With Pereira losing, Jones has nobody to fight other than Aspinall. Aspinall, however, wants Jones to make a decision: either fight him or retire.
There's nowhere to go for Johnny. He either has to fight me or retire now. And if he does retire, everyone knows that he will have been avoiding me. So there literally isn't another fight for John at the moment. So it works out pretty good. But we need to find out who the guy is. If it's not John Jones, get out of the way. I'll take the title. I'll fight someone else. Happy days.
When do you want it?
ASAP.
International Fight Week sounds nice, doesn't it?
I like it. Any time sounds good for me, but I'm ready to go whenever they let me know. I've told them that as well. As I said to you a minute ago, I've been training day in, day out since before Christmas. I'm fit, ready to go whenever they want. I can fight this weekend if they want me to.
Manny Moicano thinks that Islam Makhachev is waiting for the result of this fight before he chooses his next fight.
I don't know personally what they're going to do because, in my opinion, Islam has 1 or 2 defense on the lightweight, and I think he wants to go up. You know, but he cannot fight Belal Muhammad, and I don't know the reasons. I think he wants, but Khabib doesn't want him to fight. You know, because they are like brothers and stuff. But I don't know. I think Islam is like just waiting to see if Belal loses to Jack Della Maddalena.
I would put the Poirier against Islam for sure. That was me. I'm gonna, just because.
But Islam doesn't want it.
Yeah, but we can talk here.
It's England. It's a shank wound, not a staph infection. Crazy how a 3-piece and a soda is a permanent scar.
And seeing the face-off between the pair of you at the O2, the height difference was pretty.
I didn't know
to see. It was quite surprising.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that small. When I walked up, walking towards him, like his back turned to me, right? I thought, I looked for where the fuck Sean. Then turned around, I was like, what the hell? So yeah, I think it's about 5'9", probably 5'8", 5'9". I feel like the size difference, the reach, the strength, will play a big part in the fight, you know.
I think you said in a previous interview that you've been told that this is a #1 contender fight. You've been given assurances you've got the title fight if you win this.
For me, yeah, 100%. I feel like I'm still ranked #1 in the division. There's been no movement in the division since I last fought. I'll go out there, get a good performance against Sean, put him away, finish him. I feel like I put me right back in line to where I feel I belong, you know, and yeah, 100%.
Great stuff.
Yeah, good. If you beat Leon, you'll become the #1 contender. Would you be disappointed if the UFC didn't offer you that next? Because all week Leon has been saying that it's an immediate rematch next. It's the title next for me. Would you be disappointed if that wasn't your next fight?
No, I think that's a bad look on Leon to be thinking about other people when all I'm thinking about is fighting him. You know, he's thinking about number one contenders and getting back at Bilal and talking shit about Bilal. But he's got someone who's trying to kill him Saturday night in front of him, and he has more things to be concerned about than being a number one contender in the division.
Yeah, and just lastly, who would your ideal opponent be for your title shot?
Bilal, of course. Yep.
You know, there's been a lot of back and forth between you and Bilal. He said recently on Twitter that you're full of excuses and mentally weak regarding, obviously, your fight together. What's your take on that? What's your response?
The way Bilal talks is like he went out there and like fucking knocked me down and dropped me and battered me for the whole round. Like, all he did was wrestled me, single-legged me, picked me up, put me against the cage. He didn't, no damage really. I think at the end of the fight, if anything, he was the one on the floor leaking, about to get stopped. You know what I mean? So if I was already broken, you're about to get stopped. 1 more minute of that fight, he would have got stopped. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the way he talks is doesn't, from what he does in the cage, he's 2 different person. He talks like he's like Mike Tyson, but when he fights, he's not. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. I feel like, yeah, it is what it is.
And he said that he's picking Sean Brady, obviously, this weekend. But is it personal between you two?
Not really. I don't like him. I mean, I don't think there's... wouldn't be friends outside the sport. I wouldn't know who he is. You know what I mean? So, no, not really.
And Sean Brady told us today in the media day that it's a bad look, he thinks, for you to be talking so much about Bilal in the run-up to this fight.
I'm not talking about Bilal. You asked me about Bilal. I'm not talking about him. You keep asking me about him, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fight I wanted. I've southpaw, tall guy. I've had opponents like that in the past, so it's nothing new.
How do you assess Leon's last performance in comparison to his previous ones as champion?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't his best performance, but if you go and you look stylistically at like when he fought Kamaru, even the third time, Kamaru still did very well. That fight's a lot closer than what I think people remember it to be. And then obviously the fight before that, before he landed the head kick, Kamaru was dominating him, you know, same way Bilal was. So yeah, Leon's he's slick. He's a very good striker. I just have to be present in the moment for 25 minutes, and I'll get my hand raised.
How much of a blueprint do you think Bilal set for your performance this weekend, given what he did in Manchester last year?
I don't think he set a blueprint. I'm going to go do... Me and Bilal are different fighters, but it definitely showed some things that I was already confident in doing. But, yeah, I'm a different fighter, and I think it's going to look a little bit different this time.
And last one from me, just on the topic of Bilal. Obviously, he's the one guy who's given you your sort of sole career loss at the moment. How much extra motivation is that to know that potentially he could be next for you and you could get the chance to maybe avenge that and get the belt at the end of it?
Yeah, it's definitely motivation, but I know eventually we're going to fight again, whether I fight Bilal when he's champion or if I fight Bilal for a #1 contender spot. Eventually it's going to happen. You know, I have nothing but respect for Bilal. He gets a lot of hate for no reason, but yeah, it's definitely one I want to get back as a competitor.